To apply a charmed ink edge to a paperback book, you need a book press, a paperback book, a charmed ink edge of your choice, a pencil, a sponge brush and charmed ink primer, a mini heat press, sanding materials, and a brush. In this video, we're going to talk about how to apply a charmed ink edge to the top of your paperback book. You're going to place your book sideways into your book press. The edge that you are applying goes where your book press is marked front. Tighten down the bolts of the book press to hold the book securely in place. You want to make sure that the top edge of your book is sticking out of your book press 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. You want to be able to have room to sand it and make full contact with your heat press when applying your charmed ink edge. Typically, the top and bottoms of the books don't take that much sanding, but you do want it to be smooth for the best application, so you do want to do some sanding. Once you have finished sanding, use your brush and wipe away any dust that you have created. You want a nice clean surface to apply your charmed ink edge primer. Now we're going to go in and we're going to put 2 thin layers of primer on the book. You want to use a damp sponge brush and barely dip into your primer. Once you have a nice even layer, you can let it air dry or blow dry it. I prefer blow drying as it's quicker. You need to repeat the primer step and add a second thin layer once that coat is dry. When you have 2 layers of primer completely dry on your book, it's time to trim down your charmed ink edge. To do this, we're going to use the top and bottom arrows as our guide. We're marking on the edge paper itself where the edges of the book are. We want to cut our design as wide as the book. The next thing we need to do is get some heat resistant tape and tape over the spine of the book. The binding glue will melt at high temperatures, so we want to protect that as much as possible. Now we're going to put our design over the top of our book, taping the top and bottom of the design down the sides of the book. Here I'm lining up my design with the design on the side to try to make a seamless transition from the side of the book to the top of the book. I find the easiest way to tape down your edge is to put tape at the top and bottom of your edge design and then fold them down and tape at the same time. It works especially well for thinner books because it's difficult to get your hand down into the book press. Using our heat press at its highest setting, we're going to put firm pressure down onto the edge of the book for 45 seconds in each section, lifting and moving down the book. When you have finished pressing your edge design into your book, you can take a little peek and see how you did. Here, I didn't get it on all the way right there, so I'm going to put my design back down and add a little more heat. If you need to add a little more heat, you can add more for about 15 seconds on each spot you missed. Now let's peel up our design and see the finished product. You can remove the tape from the book and release it from the book press. Once you take it out, you can give it a little wiggle to break the primer, and then you can fan through the pages. And there you have it. You have added the top charmed ink edge to your paperback book.